technical training or vocational training, even professional development, with up to 12 years to repay. Your future success is today. Grab it now.
You're listening to Hard Talk Grenada via www.hardtalkgrenada.com.
Stay up to date with all that's happening with the new National Party, NNP. Send us a message via text or WhatsApp on 405-8683 with your name, email, and constituency. Stay in the know with NNP. Get updated.
And good morning to you, Grenada, Carrier Crew, and Pity Martinique. Once again, it is time for Hard Talk. My name is Sheldon Scott, and indeed, yeah, I know, you haven't heard my voice for the week, eh? Yes, indeed, I am in studio. It's now 6 minutes after the hour of 11 o'clock, and I'm also pleased to have in studio with me let me just make sure I have it proper there. Yes, please. Oh boy, there seems to be a little problem with the microphone there. Let me see. Oh boy, and it's my microphone giving that problem. Oh boy, let me just run a little tune and come right back.
Hey, I know here at home somehow but the feelings. They say we leave this nation and run, subject to a foreign living, so we no longer daughters.
Yeah, I think. Oh boy, no, it's still not sorted.
Out of foreign, Europe and not America is the sound of the diaspora calling. We want you to know we love we sweet Grenada. Hey, I said the diaspora calling. Yeah, yeah. We want you to know that we love we Grenada bad. Diaspora calling. Yeah, yeah. We love Grenada even though we may live abroad. It's time that we.
Yeah, let me try it this way and see if that works. Yeah, I think this one. Yeah, I think this works. All right, yes, so I have in studio with me the Honorable Oliver Joseph, the Member of Parliament for the constituency of St. David, and Minister of a lot of things. It's a lot of things. Trade. We'll use trade alone today.
Yeah.
Yes, Minister of Trade. How are you doing, sir?
Very good.
Yes, and I realize you also have an office opening taking place today. Let me just get that mic a little closer to you. Nice.
Sure.
Yes, so the office is going to be where now?
Last suggest.
Yeah,
near to the Baptist Church, we call Captain John Church.
Yeah.
Right on the main road.
Oh,
yeah.
so just before, that's where
we did the new
nice
road. That's right, right there.
Nice, man.
Right
nice,
there,
nice,
right there
nice.
we go in. We move into
yeah.
a nice
location. Right next to one of the projects.
Yes.
And across from another project, the Chinese are doing that.
That's right, right behind there is the Chinese project, yeah?
Yeah.
So when you come to see me, you can't say you didn't see anything in St. David's.
Anybody say, well, you didn't do nothing in St. David's, just step outside.
That's right, step outside. And shortly when they look across, they will see Lassa just light it up.
Nice,
and the lights
beautiful.
have been ordered.
So the lights have been ordered
yes,
for Lassa
lights have been
now?
Ordered for Lassa Jess.
Wow, I know St. David's people liking themselves right now because I could finally go to when Track Blazers have their thing.
Right.
I could finally go again because they kind of used to give me a rough time when I go.
Yes, I get a rough time when St. David's Secondary School have the sports.
Yeah, them too. It's get a rough time.
But it has been ordered. World class standard.
Nice.
Same lights like the National Stadium.
What? So wait now. So we're getting stadium lighting in St. David?
Yes.
We food.
Because the decision to put it in St. David's, the stadium lighting, because it is the second ground for training. So if when England come here next year and they have to train, they could use Las Vegas. So they have the same standard of lights.
Nice,
so
wonderful.
I'm happy that we're getting that. Yeah.
So we will be getting the lights instead. They have already been ordered. So that means the time counting down.
Yes, the counting
so
down.
I hope we get before the sporting season next year. So both of us could go to the St. David's Sports and Coach Williams wouldn't have to rough us.
That's right. Yes, the season starts in February.
Yeah.
So I think we should get it by then.
And especially we've been having a lot of talented young people coming out of St. David and doing well. Lyndon Victor,
that's right.
Kurt Felix,
yes.
Candice Scott. We will claim Anderson Peters, even though he's from Subies. He go to St. David's Catholic Secondary. He trained at La Sagesse.
That's right.
And the Track Blazers Club, along with the Track Blazers. And so we're taking Anderson Peters down the road too. Yeah, he just resides in Subies. But he from St. David's as far as we're concerned.
Yes, that's right.
So so we have these athletes who have been doing a lot out there on the international scene.
Yes.
Young athletes out of St. David, and we have a lot more coming up. You know,
a lot more coming up. a
Yeah.
lot more.
When you
from
look at the
two
primary
schools.
school sports taking place in St. David, you realize you have some very talented young people, just the development that's
Oh, yeah.
needed with them
Yes,
now.
St. David's really known for very good in sports and culture.
Yeah.
Yes. Very
And
good.
also, we've been seeing a lot of people now also coming forth when it comes to the culture, the art, and so
Yes.
we have the reigning Calypso monarch Rootsman Kelly.
That's right.
We have the junior monarch,
Monarch,
oh boy, her name slips me right now, Mitchell. First name is what's slipping me right now, young Mitchell, child there. We also have the road march champions,
That's right.
Little Natty and
Little Natty
Thunder.
and Thunder.
And they're in the running again
course,
for
they-
both the
yes.
road march, and they're also punching heavy in the Soca Monarch as well this year.
Oh, yeah, full of culture. We have our own St. David's Soca Monarch.
Yeah,
They had the semi-final, and I tell you, top quality
yeah.
going into the finals.
And it seems as though also Lunati and Thunder, they had their launch earlier this
Oh,
year
yes. Big launch.
at Malmont.
You know they
And
could not use the Malmont Great House. They had to come to the playing field.
Yeah.
They had to
And
use the
that's-
playing field.
That's what
But
we've been,
thousands of people there.
and it seems now as it's going to be one of the things that's on the calendar on a yearly
And as you
basis
say that,
now
you
for,
know,
for
well,
Carnival.
Malmont playing field, the poles start going up for the lights, you know. The
So
poles-
Malmont is getting the
yeah,
lights as well.
Before last year, yes.
Yeah.
Because the poles already gone up.
Okay.
Yes.
So we
The guy
getting
tell
we,
me
we
in
getting two big ones in
two-
St. David.
yes, he
Wap
said.
wap.
Yeah, from Malmont last year, yes.
So it's a continuation of the projects that you've been doing before, because what
That's
you've
right,
done before
that's
is you
right.
put the toilet facilities in
Yes,
Malmont, and in fact
Five.
nearly at all the playing
Five
fields.
playing fields,
Yeah,
yes.
the main
That
playing
is what I
fields.
couldn't understand when they talking about what they did, what not was done in St. David's. Imagine the major playing field did not have toilet facility. Children, we came there and made none, you know. None in Malmont playing field. The St. Joseph's RC School at Pomrose, they have the annual sports meets there, you know. So I did that within the first 6 months of coming to office, you know. The toilet facility.
Yeah,
But you could have big sports, there no toilet facility.
but volley, volley.
And we put the volley, we
Yeah.
put five. Yes, but I mean, Malmont, where the primary school have its sport. Laura, after we put the toilet facility, St. Dominic start having sports there.
Yeah,
They
and
used to go
St.
to
Dominic used to leave and go up to Las just to have the sports.
That's right. Yes, so, and they asked me for now for a small pavilion, so I'm working on that.
Nice, beautiful.
Yes, it's a continuation.
We had time for talking, we're walking.
Yes, that's right.
We had time for that.
Yeah,
And all you
good
hear that,
work.
Lassa just lights get order already.
Yes.
So things looking nice. And then
Looking real good.
with the possibility of the English team coming here next year, you said they were going to
Yes.
be practicing. Well, usually when they come, they
Usually,
go and they practice.
That's right. That's
in
why they
Lassa
put
Jazz.
giving us the same high quality lights, because usually they will use Lassa Jazz, and hopefully we will get 2 1-days, the English team
Yeah,
in Grenada in February.
that'd be
We
wonderful.
just have to
Stadium
confirm
Ram.
that. Oh yeah. Well, the tourism effect. 'Cause
Yeah.
you know they travel with thousands of people behind them. You
The
know?
Barmy Army, is it?
Yes, the
Barmy Army.
You remember when they was in River Road? The guy ran out. Next day, he say giving change in pongs.
He couldn't help it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're looking forward to that.
Yeah, it's good.
So Lassa Jess playing field, we have the lighting at the Malmont playing
Malmont
field,
playing field.
and we have how the
226 housing units.
yeah.
226, I don't make it lightly. The most housing units in Grenada will be constructed in St. David's, and they've started
Yeah.
the 11 of the sites, and work will continue straight on for 18 months.
And plus you have Cane Co.
Your
They
cane
do
code just
some
put
work
down
there.
extra 20 acres of cane.
Wow.
Yes, 20 acres.
And this is a
cane.
specific type of cane. This is not any old
No,
cane.
no, no,
It's a
specific.
specific type of cane.
And
they're
let me
using.
say, it's not used for making sugar. Some people think we're bringing back sugar. That's not the case. This cane, it will be extracted here to be used in the cognac. That's the quality they want.
Yeah, so it's not rum.
No,
it's
not
cognac.
rum. No, yeah, not rum. It's to plant this type of cane and extract, and the extract from it will be used in cognac. High quality cane.
Wonderful.
So a lot of things taking place.
Again, more positive news. And I know some of the farmers in St. David who they knew cane before, they were in cane before, they're looking to go back
Some
into it
farmers
now.
are so excited.
Yeah.
The young people not so well. You could expect that. They say, why it's cane? Because they don't understand. And
Yeah.
the same land was cane that was growing there before, you know.
Yeah.
So the farmers, the elderly people come to me and they say, Minister, that is the best thing. They never thought they would see the return of cane in Grenada. Not in their lifetime. So they're so happy and excited
Wonderful.
with cane, you know. And this company also, if you want to grow cane for them, they give you the plant.
So they're providing the plants for you to grow
because
cane.
remember, it's a special plant to grow it, and then they buy it from you.
Wonderful.
Yes. So.
And folks, so for those of you just joining us, we're speaking with the Honorable, we're speaking to the Honorable Oliver Joseph, the Member of Parliament for St. David. And we're just going over and watch now. We're just talking about a few things that are going on in St. David right now.
Because you have the poultry plant in Laura. That's that.
So there's a poultry plant in Laura?
Yes, in
I
Laura.
didn't even know about that.
Yes, the poultry plant.
I'm losing my St. David's roots, but them fellas will take my passport and I go up in Beaton and
La Laura Estate, 10 acres of land.
So there's a poultry project going on there.
Yes.
Wow.
And a second one will come to do halal meat. They just approved the lease for halal.
So wait now, I think we need a whole program to do
this. Yeah, whole program for St.
David. I feel we could finish that in this time that we have.
No, we have to come back for a whole entire program.
All right. So you moved office though. You've moved from up in Corinth and you're now in Las Sajas. So you're going a little further up.
Yes.
In a more central location.
More
people
central.
look at Las Sajas as a more central
location.
Las
Sajas is seen as the central.
Okay.
When you talk about North St. David, Central and South.
Okay.
Yeah, so we see there has been more central.
Yeah, because basically wherever you are, you're coming out from Belle Isle, wherever, and so on, or you're coming out from up in...
and you come out all the way from Latant and Pomrose to come down.
Yeah, just
and you come
down
and
Wester Hall, and so you're there within just a couple minutes.
Yes,
up the road.
It's very central.
Yeah, Mardi Gras, you're down and you're up and you're there.
So I want to use this opportunity to invite the public to come because we have been a fundraiser. When we open the office, have it blessed, and we're going to have a fundraiser. Wonderful. So Sheldon, looking forward to seeing you.
Definitely, I'll be there.
Yes.
Definitely. That's St. David's, so you're not doing that.
Yes, I know.
Once it's St. David's, people ain't all you know that?
Yes.
Once it's St. David's, Sheldon,
and they appreciate you. Because you made a difference in the last election by your presence.
Well, you know, we have to do things, you know.
Yes.
St. David's is no place.
You made a difference. You made a real difference in it.
Can't leave my people behind. I have to be there.
Yes.
And then, too, seeing a lot of movement with the youth in St. David and so on. We're seeing quite a few of them getting certified.
Yes, and scholarship. You know, my education is what I'm going for. The number of students that went to TAMCC and SGU. This young lady who came back to thank me for encouraging her to continue school. When she left school, she couldn't go to TAMCC, and now she graduated this year.
Yeah.
She said,
I know what you're talking about. I know what you're talking about.
You know, she is so thankful.
She's actually asked to come on to Hard Talk one day to give her life story.
Right, that would be nice.
She was married at a young age, and she had her challenges. And through the Imani program, she got the opportunity to attend TAMCC. And as you said, she just graduated from TAMCC. She never thought she'd have been able to do that.
Yes. Every time the young people come to me, I point them towards education.
Yeah.
Say, apply for a scholarship, go to China. Apply for SGU, apply open campus. In our days, we didn't have all these opportunities, you know. I had to travel to Keyville campus. There was no SGU that I could go to here. So I had to go to Barbados to study. Now we have all these opportunities opening up. And we didn't have China offering scholarship. We're going to recently students that are going to China, you know.
Yeah.
And full scholarship. And now we have these short-term Chinese courses. We have a lot of Grenadians that have exposed.
And St. David's get a fair share.
Oh, and get
St. David's getting a fair share. Some people well.
Yes.
And we share in St. David's just had to be a little bigger because we are a little bigger.
Well, of
so
course.
we just had to get a little more.
But one thing I must admit that when I go in the cabinet, I've always gotten support from the chairman right on that St. David's have to get a little more.
Yes.
No, that recognition is always there.
My little time I spent in cabinet alone. Anything passing, all you say about St. David's had to get it.
That's right.
St. David's had to get a little more.
Yes,
Prime Minister, St. David's had to get a little more.
That's right.
Mr. Chairman, Prime Minister, right. It's had to get a little more.
Yes, because we are the largest constituency in the spread. You see, South McLean, they have 200 more registered voters than us. But this is concentrated.
Yeah.
I think I was saying from Mardi Gras, you know, to Lambert Bridge in Crucial, you know.
Yep.
That 52 villages.
Of people.
52 villages.
Yeah.
With that spread out. So we need more. So if you're giving us, and when we all roll, so if you are locating the bushing gang, we are still South. How much estate you have in South? How much?
You need more in St. David.
We have to get more in St. David because they have more the bushing work done.
Yeah.
And you know what happened this year with us in St. David's? The bushing program started Monday. And when they were recruiting people, we realized there was a shortage of men. So when the officer called me and says, well, we're having difficulty getting men. I said, yeah, because all of them in construction.
Yeah,
All
and St.
of them
David's men again, eh?
Yes,
St. David's
construction.
men.
So you have to get more women. Or now, if you pass and look at the gangs, mainly women. The men are working in construction. Of course, it's paying more.
Yeah.
So they won't give it up to come and do the bushing program. And that, you know, the unemployment rate in St. David's dropped.
So it's gone down now.
Gone down because of the construction sector. That is, you know that
You can
construction.
pass in that area and find a pile of fellas on the blocks
No,
as before
not as
during
before.
work time.
No.
Yeah, fellas
They-
go out
that-
early in the
yes.
morning and they come back
You
late
know,
in
for
the
the
evening.
first time in 5 years, a construction firm dropped an application form in my constituency office to say when they come by you to ask for any help, let them fill up a form, we want to take them. First time. I never thought
So-
we reached the stage.
Fellas, those
But
of you that didn't know then, and you're in St. David, check the
Check the
Honorable
office.
Oliver
That's right.
Joseph's office.
Constituency office.
All right.
They dropped 50 forms, Sheldon, saying, let your people fill it up, we will take them on. Both because they cannot get the amount of workers that they need. So they, instead of waiting for people to come to them, they are coming out
Yeah.
to the constituency. I mean, that's a good position for the country to be in, you know.
Exactly. I think it's a wonderful position to be in. And then when you're passing through the south of the island, you see the loads of guys coming out and going into Silver Sands. Even on a Sunday now, because they're pushing a schedule,
Pushing it,
apparently
yeah.
they're trying to get the facility open by later this year.
Right.
And so they're pushing a schedule. So you're seeing a lot of guys, and a lot of them St. David, they go in.
Well, it's close,
and
you know,
so
St.
on.
David's to St. George
Yeah.
is here.
Yeah, they come down through the valley, they come down,
Yeah,
they
and
go
they're,
down.
and they're right there.
And not only there, you have that construction project taking place in Shrublu. Again, you have several of those taking place down there. You have the Petit Calivini.
Yeah, yeah, you have in Montrouge,
Yeah.
the Kiwana Bay.
Yeah.
Oh, there-
So you have
a
quite
lot,
a few.
yes.
Quite a few.
And a lot of houses being constructed now too.
Yeah.
I have one guy that I went to, a construction man, to offer a job because some opportunity came up. He tell me he's on a project that's going to last for 18 months. A construction project, you know. He said 18 months he have employment for. He said yeah, that has several years he doing. He got the most he ever received before was 6 months to build a house. He said he on this project for 18 months straight and working. He said, Mr. I don't do all that work.
But even with all the construction going on, we've heard the statement made by Honorable Peter David in relation to the lack of certified skilled labor. And I think some people misunderstood what he was talking about when he said that we still don't have qualified persons here. I think one of the problems has been with, for instance, with the Silver Sands and so, is that when they're doing the tiling, for instance, there may be a guy that could do the tiling better here in Grenada, but he's not certified. He might be qualified by experience, but he's not certified.
No, well, I have to speak to that because I was Minister of Labour for a short while. And they came to me and said, we need to bring in tilers. So I said, no, you cannot get a work permit because we have guys here. He said, well, send them. Let's see. The type of tiles that they were putting down in the hotel, the guys here wasn't trained to do it. The type I'm saying, right? Anyway, you know the company in China that produced the tile send down 2 persons from the company to train.
Wow.
Yeah, because they are different tile. And they had to bring in some people just to deal with that type of tile. And the company had to send down 2 workers for 1 month. Because everybody come and ask me if they could get the work permit exempted because only 2 months they're coming for and is to do training. They're not really coming to work.
Yeah.
You know, they're just coming to train.
So we're gaining something
Yes.
from it, yeah.
Yes, the skill level we're talking about now, you have to be trained and certified in order to, with these changes that are taking place now, you have to remain current. And we have the National Training Agency
Yeah.
that can train people to the qualification of CVQ, CARICOM Vocational Qualification, and NVQ, National Vocational Qualification. And that is where the effort is being now. That's what the Ministry of Youth is focusing on, to get our young people trained and certified so that they can take up the jobs that are available.
Yes.
And we have to do it now because when these hotels open now, they need trained staff to start up, you know.
And then there's the intention by some of the hotels, because you realize the Silver Sands project, the initial project has gotten a bit bigger
Yes, yes.
and bigger and bigger. and that is soon to be followed by the second project along the stretch going down to, that would be the Rivera.
Rivera,
The
yes.
Rivera facility as
Yes.
well. So as soon as they finish one,
They will
they're moving
start,
straight
yes,
into the next one.
Yeah, they call it phase 2.
Phase 2
Yes.
of the project. So again, you would encounter the situation again that you need the guys to do the tiling and the plumbing and the so on
Well,
at a
hopefully by
specific
then
level.
we could have our guys trained.
Yeah, so we have
do
some
it.
guys that are attached to them now doing
Yes.
the training as
Yes,
well,
yes.
so that they would be able to handle that.
You know, but the opportunity is enormous now in
Yeah.
this period of time.
Minister, I know that you work as a trade minister. The state of the Grenadian economy. I know that many things are being said out there, particularly things are being said to give the impression that the Grenadian economy is failing or that the Grenadian government is broke. They've been making all sorts of statements like, oh, Imanis are going home. And I mean, you have to be the dumbest dummy in Dumbland to continue believing these people when they say this sort of nonsense, because they said it last year.
That's right.
The Imanis didn't go home.
That's right.
They said it to them just before Christmas to frighten them. The Imanis didn't go home. They said it to them just before election. The Imanis didn't go home. You said it to them just after election, and you expect them to believe you again? I mean, you have to be the biggest dummy in Dublin to believe those
the
things.
same story is sad, because when you read the reports coming from the financial institutions, IMF, World Bank, regional institutions, CDB, ECCB, and all the reports coming out is praising Grenada government for what it has done to transform the economy. And we're at a stage now where we're able to pay $110 million. You know, you remember the two public servants?
Yeah.
And now $7.2 million in payment for pension to workers that came between 83 and 85.
But
You
let me
know-
ask you a question. Those workers between 83 and 85, they're getting that money this week or next week?
They're getting the money next week. You remember when it
And
been
they're talking some serious money
a
per
lot-
person.
of course, because it's retroactive, you know.
Only don't let people know it's only that getting that money. Eh?
Yes,
Don't let people know.
That's why we're not releasing the names.
Yeah, we ain't telling people who getting that money. But they'll be getting some serious,
serious
about,
money.
on average, about what the payments look.
Well,
You know what, about figure of what the average payment looks
I
like?
don't want to say that because they might get to know who it is.
No, well, we ain't going to
Say that.
But $7 million
But-
share up among 56 people. So
Exactly.
all I
That's
guess,
giving you a good idea of the amount of money, right? And so maybe I should explain how this come about, if we have time.
Yeah, go right ahead.
Yeah,
Go right ahead.
11:30. Okay. So, if you worked with the government prior to 1983 in an established position, that means you're holding a letter of appointment by the Public Service Commission in a permanent post. So not everybody that work with 83 and 85 will qualify, you know. You have to qualify for the pension and be entitled to it. So there are a lot of people that might be disappointed. And I was saying to Brenda, that is a responsibility, first of all, of the worker, and then the worker's representative, the trade union, to educate the worker of his benefit. Because, so started prior to 83. The law, that's a 1958 law, that was passed, you know.
The initial law.
Yeah, the initial law, to provide a pension for public officers. And when we say public officers, we mean those that are paid by the state. Police, prison, teachers, nurses. So if I give you a figure, say of 6,000 public officers, including teachers, police, nurses, everybody paid by the state is defined as a public officer.
Okay.
And then you have different pensions act governing police, well, what they call the discipline forces, and the civil servants.
Okay.
You know, that's why we are the word civil is to distinguish between those who work as police and prison. And then the
Civilian
civilian,
and
yes, and then the
military.
civilians, right. Non-military and military civilians. And if you work before, you had to make 33 and 1/3 years to qualify. 33 and 1/3. And I'm giving you that information because I was a member of the trade union movement, Public Workers Union, for 15 years when I was in the public service. And I used to be the vice president. And I used to be the one negotiating on behalf of public workers.
So you know.
We negotiated the 33 and a years to 26 and 2/3. I was on the team. And Alvin St. John. We negotiated with government to reduce the age, the qualifying age, from 33 and 1/3 to 26 and 2/3. I was part of the team that did that. So
That's
that's why I
after
can
that
give
period
you,
of time you could qualify for a pension.
Right.
After 26
and
and 2/3.
before it was 33 and a third.
Mhm.
As the old public servant, they had to make 33 and a third. We got it down to 26 and 2/3 to qualify
Mhm.
for a pension. So if you work in a pensionable post and you make 26 and 2/3 years before April 83, you will get a gratuity and a reduced pension, which is 50% of your last salary.
Mhm.
And then after 12 and a half years, you go to full pension, which is 2/3 of your last salary. That's how it is now.
Mhm.
So why are we talking about 85? We're talking about 85 because the law was passed April 83, but was gazetted on the 22nd of February 1985. When
So
it was
it was passed
gazetted,
when in 83 it was passed?
4th of April 83.
Oh, but by that time you started having the little
That's right.
rumblings
You know what happened?
started,
Exactly.
and then you ended up.
That's right.
Yeah.
So nobody solely to gazette. That's the last thing because all this turmoil and so on.
Mhm.
So it was gazetted on the 22nd of February 1985. And in the Armstrong case, the court ruled that the law is only effective from 22nd of April 85. And so even though she came after April 83, but she came before the 22nd of April 85. And therefore she was entitled.
So she has to be
Yes.
treated as somebody previous
to that.
Yeah.
And then we say, well, if that is the court ruling, everybody now will be entitled. You wouldn't be Armstrong, which that was the test case.
Mhm.
But so the government, having received that judgment, could have do one or two things. We could have appealed and say, no, well, 83. But in law, we didn't have a good basis because it only becomes law, a bill only becomes law when it is gazetted.
Mhm.
So we said we accept the judgment. It's gazetted so that everybody who worked prior now to 22nd of February 1985 will be treated just like everybody who worked prior to April 83. So we bring everybody on board. It means that if you qualify for a pension, you left the service but was not paid because all along you was going on 83.
Mhm.
So you got nothing. Now, with this government deciding to amend the law to include 85, you have to be, from the time, if you retired in 84, and you're not, and they say, well, you wasn't entitled because you come, you have to be given that money retroactively, you know.
So you have to be paid
The
for
pension,
all the
yes,
months and
all
years
the-
that you have
yes.
not been paid.
That's right. All the months and years you haven't been paid, you have to be paid now.
At what percentage of your former salary?
No, well, it is the old formula.
no.
It's-
Okay, the old formula
which
would be in
is,
place
if
for
you
that.
accept a reduced pension,
Mhm.
it's 50%
Mhm.
of your last salary. If you take full pension, that is something that some people don't know, that they could take the full pension, take everything the whole lump sum up front, and you do not get this monthly pension.
Mhm.
Okay, you take everything.
Okay.
But people do not opt for that. They take a reduced pension and take a gratuity.
Mhm.
And I say after 12 and a half years, you will go back up to full pension.
Mhm.
So now the people 85 we treat it like the old formula, which is your last annual salary times total months work divided by 480. You will calculate your reduced pension. You will get your gratuity and get a monthly pension from government.
Mhm.
And when you have 60 years, you will get your NIS pension. Now, because NIS by law, when you're 60, you're entitled to pension. Cannot be paid before that. So you could get two pension streams then. One from government for your years you work, one from the National Insurance Scheme. Now, when the PRG had passed the Pension Disqualification Act, it's not to disqualify you from a pension, that had to be made clear. What the law says is that government will no longer pay you this one pension, NIS will pay you.
Mhm.
You see? Because one pension
So just
before
the
it,
payee just change.
yes,
Is the paymaster changes from
from
government
to
to
NIS.
NIS.
For the people who are there prior to 85, they will get two because when the law was passed, they're already entitled to it. So you couldn't disqualify them. So some people will receive two pensions. One from government, and at the age of 60, one from NIS. So they will get two. The NIS pension is calculated differently from the government because they have different qualifying amounts. For example, to qualify for NIS pension, you must make 500 contributions. And NIS contribution is calculated on a weekly basis.
So 500
weekly.
weeks.
So say 10 years. There are 52 weeks in a year. So 10 years to qualify for a NIS pension. Now the rate that you get also varies a lot, because at 500 contribution you're entitled to 30% of your insurable earnings. And there's a distinction I want to make. You pay NIS up to a maximum of $5,000 and your salary of $5,000. 4%. So the maximum you pay is $200. If your salary is above $5,000, you do not pay NIS on it, you know.
Wow.
Okay, it's no, with what they call your insurable earnings, which is now 5,000. Over the years, it went up from 3 to 4 to now it's 5. So you get your benefit on your insurable earnings, which cap at 5,000. Well, if your salary is below 5,000, then it's on your entire salary.
Yeah.
But if your salary is above 5,000, it is on 5,000. And sometimes people get that confused and think that they have to get it 30% on their last salary. But if your last salary is above 5,000, you're not getting it on your last salary. You get it on 5,000.
On the 5,000.
So your salary 10,000 is on 5,000.
It's capped
It's capped at 5,000 because you only pay 4% of the 5,000, not of your $10,000 salary you pay on. So you have your insurable earnings. So at 500 contribution, you will be entitled to 30%. And then you continue to work. The formula that the NIS operate on is that you will get 1 percentage point for every 50 contribution thereafter, right? Up to a maximum of 60%. So there's a cap to and a maximum. So you get 1 percentage point for every 50 thereafter. So if you work for another 10 years, you pay, because remember, as I said, you have to, is weekly contribution, right? So the percentage you will get varies a lot, depending on how much long you work after you reach the 30%. So you could get as low as 30% to a high of 60%. That's the range, right? So the people who come before 85 will get that. Now, for after 85, the GNT, Government Negotiating Team, and the unions are in discussion as to the way forward. What will happen to the workers after 22nd of February 1985? MOU was signed outlining the basic principle that will guide the negotiation in arriving at a settlement to treat with the workers after 85. Now, one thing is to note, pension is a recurrent cost. Every month you have to pay it. So you keep recurring. The budget in 2018 for pensions alone is $35 million.
That's the pre-existing budget or the
No,
amended
this budget. No, the budget now.
No.
Because it's a recurrent cost.
Yeah.
So you have to be budget for under recurrent expenditure. It's $35 million. You pay in pension. Why you think the countries, all countries talking about pension reform, is the cost to the state? They reach to the stage where it becomes unsustainable. And everyone is talking about that reform. Much grief.
Especially when you have an aging population.
Well, exactly.
With improving healthcare, you have an aging population, so people live longer.
That's right.
And therefore,
the replacement rate is not taking place. Younger people must come in to fill that space. But if you have more and more elder people retiring, the scheme could be in trouble. So all over the world, they're talking about pension reform. And in Grenada, we said we must look at pension reform. So that is what we are addressing. So for post-85, the government and the union are talking about a formula that will see the workers getting benefit not only from NIS, because what is recognized, when you get only your NIS pension, it is difficult really to maintain a certain living standard with just a NIS pension. But no government since 1983 touch it, you know. After 35 years,
everybody freed it.
Well, it costs. Everybody freed it. This government decide we must address it.
But this government could adopt it. This
Yes.
government could have docket, they could have
But-
challenged the Homeland and
But
so
of-
case,
but
drag it through the
of
courts for
course.
another 10, 20 years.
Or just don't address the pension and say, well, the law is there.
Yeah.
Just before 85, after that, you're not entitled to anything.
Mm-hmm.
No, the people after 85 not entitled legally to anything, you know.
So
Let me
legally,
get that clear. The people after 85 is not entitled to any gratuity and pension from government, you know. There's no law.
government doesn't have to pay
No.
a cent.
They don't have to pay a cent.
That's people who joined the service after 85 or
That's
people
right.
who retired after 85.
No,
who joined the service after
Yes,
85.
because now we're talking about
Yeah.
85. Yeah, so who joined after 85. We used to say who joined after April 83. Is now if you join after 85. So
Wow.
let's clear on that. The government has no legal obligation. But morally, and as a caring government, and looking at the conditions of people who retire with only one pension, we say let us address it. That is a bold decision, you know. And you know, but my concern with this decision, and as a government, we have to be careful that we do not put a cost on the state that is not sustainable. We must agree to something that is sustainable. The unions ideally will want us to go back to the pre-85 and treat everybody the same way. But is that sustainable? Could the state afford to pay that thousands of workers that sort of benefit retroactively? Because as we said, even previous NNP government never addressed it, you know. Remember that, you know. We were there before.
Because as it is now, you're talking 35 million, so it means that that would increase significantly. And especially as you have more and more people retiring out of the service each year, it just increases.
Just to add those who come between 83 and 85 is an addition. With the 7.2 million, when you pay out this money, the 56 people now will go onto the pension roll, you know.
Yeah, they
So
start
that
to get a
25
monthly
million,
pension.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. So you increase again the pension payment, the recurrent cost, to as pension, as the allocation for pension, you know. And then when you start to add more people and more people, you have to ensure, as I said, that any formula that is arrived at is one that is sustainable, because the state could find itself in difficulty, and the same workers that you're trying to get benefit for, perhaps in the long run they may not be able to have a job, because if the recurrent cost of pension is even more than the salary they're going to pay every month. So all I'm saying is that this government has taken a bold decision. I think the worker, the representative, is aware of that if any formula arrived at must be one that the state can afford, one that is sustainable going forward, and therefore a mutual agreement will have to be arrived at, taking all these factors into consideration. I'm aware that both parties, I think they might be meeting today to continue the discussion on what will happen after 85. And come 1st of January 2019, the suggestion is that a contributory scheme be introduced. Because all I'm telling you now is a non-contributory plan, you know. You get gratuity and pension without contributing anything.
That's government just have to find the
Find
money
the
and
money,
pay.
yes.
You didn't contribute,
You didn't contribute
to it.
anything.
Yeah.
Government is contributing to NIS for each of its employee.
Is it 5%?
5% and the employee 4%. So the government as an employer is contributing 5%. So you're making a contribution to your pension. That is how it was designed, you know.
At least this government is paying. I know a certain government wasn't paying it. And
We pay every month now.
We had to come and pay that
Every
and
month.
ours. So.
You know what we did under the structure? I mean, the success of this structural adjustment program, as I said, it has to be documented, right? And I have attempted to put these things together already. Every month we pay the NIS, we pay electricity and we pay water monthly, just like any household is doing now, you know. When they bill you. I remember when I was in the public service. For months, we pay electricity, we pay water, or if we come into the stage where you don't have the money to pay salary, you want to go and pay other bills and you can't pay salary.
No, it's pay salary.
You
Yeah,
pay
daily
salary.
orders.
That's right. Now, what we have agreed to when we went through the structural adjustment program is that every month we will pay we bill like everybody else. I heard the manager of Nawasa say because government pay this bill every month, they able to build the dam in Mount Agnes up there. You know? Gotta get the
They have
money.
liquid cash
Yes,
now.
every month we are paying our bills, so we operating like everybody else, any other consumer. That is the first time. First time government is able to do that. Pay all his bill. It is the first time. Remember when we came, the monthly deficit was 18 million. And I could never forget these figures on them because
That means, go ahead.
it means every month there is a deficit. You're spending more than you're earning by $18 million. And we said, well, if it was a private sector business, you closed down already. So we had to bring down that deficit. You know, after 3 years, we arrived at a primary surplus. A primary surplus on the recurrent side, it does not necessarily mean that you have an overall budget surplus, because on the capital side, you may not have raised all the money that you'd have want to. So when you have, all I'm talking about now, see if we budget to spend 90 million, we collected 93 million, so we say we are supposed to 3 million. That is what it means on the recurrent side. Because sometimes, if I make such a statement, the workers will say, well, you have a surplus, you can pay us. What's about the capital side? Fix road, to do houses, we need money there. So if we take it and give you, well, and the only how you get
anything else.
We have to get return by investing on the capital side. That is what's going to have the economic growth and so on. So, because we're able to achieve this now, the money that we have, the way we allocate it, remember last month we increased the public assistance by $100. Yeah, we increased it by 100.
So that's an additional how much per year now, or per month or per year now?
I don't recall the exact figure, but there's an increase. And you have 3,000.
And that's a couple million. So
yeah,
couple $1 million
to do it. So when the government is thinking of how you allocating resources, it's for, you have to think about all sectors. You know, the people in the committee that are not working always accusing the government of just looking after public sector workers. When they had the 110 million that gone to them, 7.2 million going to go again. There will be an increase. There's a 3% 2017, 3% 2018. Come January 2019, 4%. They say, but we home.
That's already negotiated.
Yes, already negotiated, so you have to pay. But these workers are saying that we are home, and all we hear about millions to the public sector. What's about us? So we have nothing to get. So the government has to be mindful of these things. You cannot just allocate the money to one sector because you would not get growth and development. What's about the youth? All the youth, unemployed youth, the youth program. When I hear people criticizing money, I say, you're criticizing training and education. That's what you're criticizing, you know. Young people go in there to enhance their skills. So what you want to take it out and then give more in increase to one sector. Any responsible government must look at the whole, the society as a whole. We wish we could have given more money in public assistance, you know, because these people are not getting any pension or anything, but you have to balance everything. So as we look to addressing the pension, current pension, we have to look at everything holistically. And I'm saying that this government is on the right track. We have made targets that was unbelievable. To take debt to GDP ratio from 108% to 69%. I mean, everyone is amazed. And you know, by 2020, the ECCB, and they are meeting here in Grenada, the Monetary Council had just come up to the opening. The ECCB recommendation to members of the ECCU is that it should try to achieve a debt to GDP ratio of 60%. And they decided, well, if you target 2030 to achieve that, that would be good. You know, in 2020, we're going to achieve 60%. In 2 years' time.
We did it in
we
12 years before they expected it.
And here what we put for 20.
Not 12, 10 years before.
10, but here what we put for when we want in 2030, we set the target at 55. 55 better than what is recommended. But we could only achieve that if we stay on track. We must
so
stay
we can't borrow away.
No, we had the Fiscal Responsibility Act.
We were hearing that there was some bone of contention by the unions earlier this week in relation to the pension issue. Exactly what is the contention? What is it that the unions are saying that they want to see?
All right.
And what is it that government is saying that it wants to see?
Okay. Well, as I said, because the negotiation is still ongoing, as I said, they should be meeting today.
Yeah.
All I'll do is just outline the principle
Yeah.
and what I understand as the different interpretation. That's what it is. Now, I mentioned to you that after 26 and 2/3, or 26 years and 8 months, you will be entitled to a pension from government and gratuity. The union interpretation of that is, regardless of what is your age, so if you start to work at 20 and 17, right? So when you make 27, not 17, 27, well, because two wrongs enough, okay, 26 years and 8 months.
Okay.
So you'll be 47, 20 plus 27. If you start at 19, you'll be 46. The union said their interpretation of that principle, because the MOU is some broad principle, is that regardless of your age, you have to get your pension, regardless of your age.
So
Yes.
So a person who is, they're saying that a person who is 47 years old, basically, who may enter the service at the age of 20, and even younger than 47 if the person entered at 19,
46,
18, 19, that this person could retire from the service with full benefits?
Yes. That is, they say that is the understanding.
Understanding and
Right, and I said,
interpretation.
look at the negotiation is still going on.
Yeah.
The government negotiating team said, no, hold on here. That is not our understanding. Our understanding is when you are 60, you'll be entitled to it. And that is where the new formula, they will consider what NIS will give and government. What you're entitled to under NIS and what government will give. And I would connect it now to show you the other point, how that becomes very important. So that's the first thing of interpretation of that principle. Because the MOU just outlined principles. That after 26 years and 8 months, you entitled, okay, you qualify, that's the qualified years, to get it. And the union say, well, fine, at 46 or 47, or even 45, I am entitled to full benefit because I make 26 and 2 years. Now, that brings me now to the second point, that there are some misunderstanding again, and the interpretation is not clear. As part of the principle, the government has put forward that when you retire, you should not receive less than 70% when you combine NIS and government. 70% as what is called the replacement rate as a pension. Now, 70, you take a minimum of 70%. Now, you will get your NIS own, because based on their formula, and you will get it at 60. And you will get the government own based on the government formula. But in this new arrangement, it says that it should not be less than a minimum of 70. So if you are entitled to 50% from the NS, then the government will have to put 20% of your last salary. If you're entitled to only the 30% that we say that you're entitled to after making 500 contribution, then the government will have to put 40, because you must not get a minimum. The minimum should be 70% of your last salary, because that is considered a good replacement rate.
Okay.
That could make you leave of your last salary, whatever it was, 70%. So, this is the way the government side is linking it. The GNT is saying then, well, yes, to get both of them, you must reach 60 years, because that's only when NIS start to pay you. They say, no, well, give us the government own, whatever we age. And when we are 60, you get the NIS own. You see? So that now, as I said, I wouldn't want to sit in position on that or anything. Some people might have
been able to take like early retirement, basically.
Yes.
They take early retirement at the age of 46, 47, they leave the government service, and
that's
then
right.
when they become 60, they get the next set of...
Right?
I am not let me wait and hear
yes,
what
that's
comes
right.
out of
I
the
don't right.
discussion.
I want
but
to,
that is what is the position.
Because it is under negotiation, I would not express any view on it. I'm just saying the principle, that's the principle. And I hope that the both sides could reach, an amicable settlement. But it is a bold decision of this government to reform pension and restore pension to the workers of this country. I'm sure every worker will be extremely happy to know that at the age of 60, when they would have retired, that at least they are guaranteed a 70% of their last salary. I mean, that, as I said, I'm sure the government team will do all the calculations and look at how much it will cost before coming up with the 70%. But I'm very happy that workers will, because when you retire, and if you have disposable income, you can still make a contribution. Besides just paying bills and doing other things, and the bank will perhaps still give you a loan because you're getting 70% of your last salary. And we also have to look at the critical issue that coming out of the actuary report that says Grenada need to increase the retirement age because we have postponed making a decision. Barbados is at 67 now,
60,
that's
65,
right.
They got to 67.
Yes, because they're doing it incrementally. You see, they move from 60, 62, 63, 65. They're up to 67 now. We too, that's a decision that this government will have to make. Because if you do not do that, then the scheme will be in problem because you'll be paying out more money than coming in. But that's
you have more people who would be dependent rather than providing a service and receiving a salary within the system.
So, and the report clearly states that. Clear.
And also clear. with the increase, with the improvement in healthcare and other areas, what you're going to find is that people will be living longer.
Of course.
So therefore, they'll be drawing a pension
for
from
a
the
longer
state for a longer period of time.
Yes. My brother that died.
Then healthcare itself carries a cost to the state.
My brother that died at the age of 76 got an NS pension for 16 years.
Yeah.
He live longer. 16 years. I said he probably get back the money he pay already.
Yeah.
So no, so this thing have to be. We have to look at all the issues, but the pension one, we already addressed the up to 85, post 85. And then going forward from January 2019, what this new contributory scheme will be like, because the principle is that you look at the contributory plan, recognizing that government cannot just continue to.
Yeah, so there would be something that goes towards
right.
it. Yeah.
All that is under negotiation currently. So hopefully the committee could come up with some understanding that is fair to all concerned. But I, as a former trade union, as I mentioned to you, I was active in the trade union. I was general secretary for 1 year, Well, I left to go and do my master's when I was at the time, so I didn't continue. I took over when Honorable Clarice Charles left. She became a senator and a minister.
That would be back in the
1990s. That's right. That's right.
About
that's right.
99.
95, 96. Yeah, 95. So the election was in 95.
No, that would have been 99. That would have
that was before the 99 election.
Grace Duncan would have been a representative between 1995 and
No, she was not a representative. She was made a senator.
No, what I'm saying is Grace Duncan was a representative between 1995 and 1999.
Right.
And she became the representative in 1999.
Yes.
So she may have been, I can't remember.
No, but I'm saying in 95 she was made a senator.
In 95?
Yes.
Okay.
And that's when I became general secretary.
Okay.
And after Mary Roberts took over as general secretary. So I understand that unions will
that's
come.
why Ray thought he was going to see. Anyway, that's my thing.
Let me go partner, Ray Roberts. Anyway, what I'm saying is that the unions will always seek to extract the maximum from an employer. Always.
They're doing their job.
Well, of course.
They're doing their
it's
job.
the employer to demonstrate the ability or inability to pay. What you're asking for? But the union do their job. The union want
what unions do.
But listen, but the union leadership want to be re-elected just like me, just like I want to be re-elected. So I'm doing things for the people in St. David's. They to get re-elected, they have to do things for their membership, Otherwise, they won't get re-elected. It's the same thing. The concept is the same. Once you are representing people or workers, you have to satisfy your constituent, because you want to be reelected.
Indeed.
So they are not doing anything different from what the government will do.
And folks, just a note here to the station. Yeah, City Sound. We did a little time extra today. I know I sent a message. I'm not too sure. I didn't get a response, but I did send a message. So we're hoping you hold on with us for a few minutes still. All right. Yes, Minister.
Yes,
so I think people have a clearer understanding of the pension issue now. But one of the things that has been happening is that I myself have been getting calls. I've been meeting people that are wondering if they qualify
Right.
to receive that
Pension.
that payment that's going out
Right.
now, if they qualify
Mhm.
in that bracket, or if they will qualify in any future
Right.
payments to be made.
Good.
And
Good
I
thing.
think that
And
needs
well,
to be explained
no,
to
that's
other people.
no, and that's good. People are beating me every day and
Mhm.
asking me that as well. So, first of all, the person who inquiring had to determine, first of all, whether they had a public service appointment to a permanent post or appointment in the case of the discipline forces from the commissioner of police, or prison, right? Whether the post, and I'll use an example, two examples, one from the what we call the civil service and one from teaching service, to bring home the point. Now, previously, it no longer happened. You could be appointed as a teacher without having the requirement of full subject with English. So when I went to school, I had teachers who only had school leaving, right? Or they had one subject or two or three, or they probably have four without English. This position is not considered pensionable position. You're teaching this. I want you to follow that carefully. So you have then you have temporary teachers. So if you start with school leaving or one subject, you get temporary teacher. Then you have a category called student teacher, right? Because you did not have the necessary qualification to be appointed permanently in the establishment. Because to do that, you would have to have full subject with English language at the time. But you were teaching. So you probably would have taught for about 5 years or so, or maybe up to 10 before you get all the qualification. When you become a certificate 2 teacher, then you're appointed permanently into a pensionable post. So all the years that will be counted towards pension will be those from when you are appointed in as a sort 2 teacher and not those before. Right? And so what the union did in order to address that, they came up with a formula where you would not get a gratuity, but you will get what they call special pension. Special pension.
That's for the category of people who were not into the
Permanent thing, or they didn't make
position.
sufficient years into the permanent position. So you work for 30 years. Remember I told you you have to be 26 and 2/3 to qualify.
Yeah.
But if you work for 30 years and 5 years, they subtract 5 years because it's not a pensionable post, then you wouldn't qualify. You have to work for the 26 and 2/3 in a pensionable position.
Yeah.
You see? And that has a lot of people, when they retire, to be completely disappointed. I know some teacher friends and some civil servants that were really disappointed, having said, well, I make 33 years, I can go now, right? Unless the services join together, where it will have to be done on a case-by-case basis, you would not get the gratuity and pension because you did not serve sufficient time in the pensionable post, all the way with 40 years, all the way with 35 years. And that is a distinction that I think the unions should talk to the members about. Because I'm telling you, I know people are terribly disappointed, including the former MP
Oh, goodness.
who got a special pension, including a former senator now, who only got a special pension and was terribly disappointed they did not get the gratuity because they were not aware that the position that they served in before was a non-pensionable post. So what people have to do, there is a pension secretariat that has been established. They must go to the pension secretariat
It's located where?
or the department.
Ministerial financial complex.
No, it's up. No, I think.
Oh, audit department is.
in Mount Weldale.
Oh, close to the Parliament
Yes, close to
building.
the Parliament building. Yes. The pension secretariat will ask you for the information. when did you start to work? Where is your letter of appointment? What post you are appointed to? Because they're trying to determine now whether you're entitled to the pension. So, in trying to determine whether you are entitled to it, they must be satisfied that you worked for 26 and 2/3 years in a pensionable post. You have a category called unestablished workers. So all along I'm talking about established posts. Unestablished workers meaning you did not have the qualification to be appointed to the post, but you were appointed and paid, so you're unestablished. Over the years, some unions have addressed that by saying the unestablished worker will be, they work out a formula of what you'll be entitled to, because you would not be entitled to the gratuity and pension as if you work in a pensionable post. So the people who ask you that, you cannot just say yes or no, because you must have the information of how long, if the person works in a pensionable post, you must know that. That is the basis.
So you can't just say yes.
No, you can't just say yes or no. Watch, a teacher may come to you.
They need to go with the documents
of course,
to
a
the
teacher may come by a
secretariat.
civil servant, a police may come by you.
I know I've been hearing from quite a few people who were police officers, but in some instances you have people who worked with the police force but were not in permanent positions, like
Right.
drivers, for instance.
That's
They may
right.
be a driver attached to the police force,
yes.
and so
Unestablished.
unestablished.
So,
So
all
those people, they would receive a special pension, or they would receive they're
over
totally
the,
out of it.
as I say, over the years, there have been different arrangements made to take care of some, not even all of these people. They are daily paid people who work.
Yeah.
Yes. So the pension secretariat is where you need to go with all the information, and if you have your letters of appointment, you take it to them, and they will explain to you why, if you entitled or you are not entitled to this pension payment. Is not a straightforward matter that you could just make a determination on. So I could say, unless someone bring the appointment letter to me and make sure that it was in an established position, and therefore I can tell you whether or not you are entitled.
Let me ask, does it mean, for instance, that the 56 people who are being paid out that $7 million now, that there's a possibility that there are more? Those 56 are just the ones that came in and signed up and do what they had to do?
Yes, those are the ones who has been verified.
So you might end up with double that amount next thing you know?
You might, because people are coming forward. Do the 56. So I have my letter of appointment, and I work in the public service straight through, nowhere. So I thought for straight 26 years, and it must have me letter to show the date. Well, that's straight. That straightforward. Yes. What's about the others that tell you they have the complication of at one time being daily paid, then unestablished, then established, you know? So there are, and let me tell you, since that announcement was made that these people will be paid, they've been a rush to the secretariat with claims. And they will have to go through it. I'm sure some more may emerge. I don't expect a lot more, because the established position, if you had that and was straightforward, you will go. You're talking about between 83 and 85. You know, that period. But
because there's quite a few people that have been asking questions. People who are attached to the hospital, people who are attached to the police force, and so teachers, ex-teachers, and so have been asking about
But
that.
I think most of them are inquiring about post 85. What will
Most
happen?
are post 85.
Yes, most post 85. And I said the discussion is still ongoing. What's going to be the final? As I said to you, there is a 70% minimum on the table. I don't know if that figure, what will happen to the figure.
And I think the other thing that needs to be explained to them is that they must make this number of years,
26 years and 8 months.
26 years within the service.
Yes. with
Are
government.
those years continuous, or could they have a break in service? For instance, you work for a period of time, you travel to the United States, you spend 3-4 years, and then you come back.
Good. Well, that's a
Could
good
it be
question.
joined?
If you have a break in service of less than 5 years, you can come back and ask for it to be joined. If you're a pensionable post, but you left, you went out. Like some people say, when they left and go because of the revolution.
Right.
You can stay here, they feel threatened. If it's less than 5 years, you can come back. and ask and request of the cabinet to join the service.
Okay.
And that can be given consideration.
So it can be done.
Yes.
You make a request and it could be
Can be
joined.
done if you are working
Could
alone.
be.
Yeah, if you
But not necessarily has to be.
No,
done.
no. It says that the cabinet can decide and join in at that period because you started throughout in this pensionable post. And for some circumstances, I see some people use the revolution as incidents where they had to leave. Whatever it is, you left, you resign. So, but you already made 21 years or 20 years. You need to make things, so you resign, you come back. Actually, I know a teacher that happened to. Left, came back, taught for 7 years. So you know what, 27 years. So you make the 26 and 2 thirds. And then put in a claim.
I know of a teacher that happened to. I don't know if it's the same person, but I know of a teacher that happened to. They had left for a while and came back, taught again, and wanted the entire thing joined.
Right.
Yeah.
I think the reason for teaching again was to get that done. Or you could go back to the police force, too.
Okay.
And get it joined. Yes, and get it joined because you're always in a pensionable post. And get it joined and you could become qualified. So there are a lot of nuances when it comes to pension. That
some people that spent, for instance, 4 and 5 years within the service during the 1980s or so, in the back of their minds, some of these people actually expect a pension. Huh?
No, not if you spend 5 years working.
They spend 4 or 5 years within the service.
No, you expect a pension.
Yes,
no, I don't think so.
Some of the people just said, well, I work with government back then and are 60 years now. No, actually, there are people that have been saying
but
that.
You wouldn't even qualify for NS? Because for NS, you have to make 500 contribution?
No, but they work other places, but like they work with government for a period of time. So they spend 4 or 5 years working with government and then either they left or they went into a private sector.
Well, if they work in the private sector, they will qualify for NS pension because they would have made the contribution.
Yeah.
But they won't qualify for government pension if you work for 5 years or 10 years. No,
but I think that needs to be explained to some people because some people have that expectation.
Well, I tell you.
Well, once they work with government, that they have a ticket.
Well,
they
yes,
think,
you're right.
They think that the only thing that qualifies is that you work with government.
All right, okay.
Not that there's a period of time and there's a certain amount of contributions when it comes to the NIS
well,
and so on.
my partner that thought for 10 years listening to me because when he heard the announcement of 2014, he said, Minister, I started to teach in September of 2014. I said, yes, that's very good. So you make 26 and 2. He said, no, I only taught for 10 years. But they say it's from 20, everything now before 2015. So not 15, the period was 85, right?
Yeah.
So 84, right? So he came in September 84, right? So he said that I heard that 22nd of February is the cutoff. So I started in 84. I said, yeah, but how long you taught for? He said 10 years. I said, well, you can qualify. But 10 years you make with government, because he left and went and worked other places. So you're right, other people are rethinking so.
Yeah, there are people that think so. They think they think the qualifying for the pension that you qualify simply by having worked with government. For instance, I worked with government previously, but one, I was not in a pensionable position, and two, I didn't make as much as 20 years. I mean, I worked about 5 or 6 years with government before, and in a non-established position.
Right.
So I don't expect to get no pension. I don't even expect to get a gratuity. I don't expect to get nothing except my NIS.
But if this former teacher could ask me that, I imagine a lot of people might think so.
Yeah.
I said, Bob, I almost calling him, I say, partner, well, who tell you that? He say, well, a man tell me, well, I work from 84, and the thing is going up to 85, so I must qualify. I see. After explaining explaining the situation to him, he say, yeah, well, I understand that. But if I work 10 years, I can get qualified for gratuity. But
you have to go back and teach. Go back and teach for another 16 years, 17 years.
Well, by that time, you're way past 60.
Yeah.
So you can't think. So, yes, if anybody out there listening, you must make the qualifying time. Yeah,
I think it's important, too, for a lot of the police and nurses and so on to know that. Because, for instance, I know of one young police officer now who has been in the force since they're in the early 20s or so, who would they probably would have made about 13, 14 years now within the service. And if they leave now, they lose their pension.
Yeah.
If they leave now, you lose your pension. So it's best to stay and make the rest of your time.
Well, but
Make
whose
your
responsibility
other
is it? Because
30,
when I was
15
telling the host, Brenda Baptiste, that I think it's the responsibility of the worker. But she seems to be saying, well, no, well, not solely. Yes, they are responsible. But you don't think the government should tell them that? Or you don't think the trade union should tell them that? I say, listen, I got a letter of appointment when I entered the public service that says, you're appointed to this post and you're subject to the public service rules and orders and the staff rules. You know, the first thing I did was get a copy of these rules to see, well, let me see what rules I'm subject to.
I must call a name here. Eunice Sandy David made sure that at a point in time when I was within the service that I got a copy of these things, and that she made sure that you understood what your role and responsibilities were.
Whose responsibility you think it is? You asking your personal view now.
No, I think it's the individual.
I think so.
You don't want to be working somewhere and you don't understand which rules govern you.
Exactly.
Like a lot of people still have labor issues and don't realize that there is a clause where they could receive some sort of benefit, and so they don't go and research these things. They don't check to see that NIS has maternity benefits and paternity benefits and so on, that the father could receive a payment, the mother could receive a payment for each child when you have a child. A lot of people probably, this is the first time they're hearing that. A lot of people don't understand when you're within the public service, different things that guide and direct the position that you hold. I make sure I get my SRO, not the SRO, what do you call it again, the standing orders. And it even deals with how you dress and everything too.
The standing orders, you're the SRO, you're the staff orders, and all these things. Of course, the union should be educating the members and like that. But I think the responsibility, first and foremost, is to you. You're going to imagine. I have a friend who wanted to retire and travel because they got too permanent in the States. I think I'm going to retire because I make 20 years. I say, you're teaching 20 years. Well, that means you're taking early retirement. So there's a 20-year clause that was negotiated by the union as well. But you'll get your gratuity, but you'll get your pension at the age of 60. You could take early. You could go early.
Yeah, so you just get that one-off gratuity payment. But pension starts at 60.
But you're sure? Because my boss tell me, no, I'm getting everything and go. Because you're not getting everything. After 20 years, I say no, after 26 and 2/3, you'll be entitled to everything. After 20, you get the gratuity, and then you have to wait to get the pension. So I said, and you could go and I send them to the place, they could go and read it. There's the next thing I find lacking. I give a document to somebody who wanted to retire to see how much they will get from NIS, right? You see, read it, it's all there. And then, well, apparently he didn't read it because he come back and say, look, so and so, tell him the X, Y, and Z. I said, but I'll give you the book, the rules, the policy that they have to follow.
Just read it.
Just read it, then you'll get it right there. I think that's something that people lack too. You give them a document from NIS. You tell them, read it because it's there. It's after 500 contribution, you're entitled to 30%, the 1% thereafter up to a maximum, and so you could know, you could calculate how much you have to get because it's not a fixed amount and everything. And they don't read it and listen to somebody else saying something, and that is, they use that as a basis for making decision. Well, you could use that as a basis for making decision. You cannot. You need to inform yourself. And people are very impressed with you if they know that you're talking the facts. You have facts. You think, But a lot of people prefer to ask people rather than take 10 minutes to read. This document I tell you from NIS wouldn't take you, well, a man as you might take you 5 minutes. But somebody else 15 minutes to read, It's very precise, Paternity benefit, yes, how it work. Invalidity benefit, how it work. Funeral grant, one statement on funeral grant, You get that.
You don't need to say much on that one. It's a dead issue.
Yeah, this all that there, but no, I really want to encourage people to at least read the basic thing that govern your work, and if you have laws that deal with. But when I was in the union, we had training. I used to be going around explaining to people how to calculate your gratuity and your pension, the formula that's used to get a reduced pension. And I think more training like that, the trade union should continue this sort of training, so that, especially if you reach to a new agreement, let people understand what this new agreement is all about, and how they could benefit from it. And Sheldon, I know we quickly run out of time because I have to go to Rootsman Kelly.
What the funeral is today?
Funeral is today.
The funeral is
so
today.
To go up to get ready.
Yeah, and Rootsman, we there with you, brother.
Yes, let me use this opportunity to express my deep sympathy. He has to defend the crown, and that is affecting him.
Yeah, he's a bit depressed.
Really depressed
over this
one.
And I'm hoping that hoping that he channels that into his performance. I'm hoping that somehow he learns how to channel that into his performance for the time.
But I think it would be real hard.
Yeah.
Because there's a son that grew up with him,
Yeah.
And got a job in the south and went to live down there.
And recently, I heard he recently went to live down
6
there.
months.
With
recently, he left to go and then getting news that his son.
Again, it says that we have a lot to do still with anger management and so on with some of our young people, especially. And we have to continue. We can't, every time we ease up on it, you see one or two things start to happen. So we have to get back on the train again.
I think sometimes we get complacent because Grenada is such a peaceful place.
Yeah.
You hardly have any, major crime and things. So we think we okay, but we have to continue working on it. So I have to, of course, I must be there for him.
And then you have your own opening this evening as well. And then I have my own opening
this evening as well. So while I say I have to be here, well, once you invite me, I can't turn you down.
No.
Say I have to come to the program.
And I'm glad you did, because I know lots of people out there listening who, some people started rubbing their hands already when they hear 7 million. For those people, see, I have our money to collect, boy. I go in, I have our money to collect. And some people actually, without even going to the secretariat and registering, believe that they're automatically going to be receiving out of the 7 million as well. They don't realize they have to go to the secretariat and register.
Especially if you're outside, because if you're in the public service, what it does for those who in, as you mentioned that, they will just be brought on. Because they're still working. A lot of people still working that came by 85.
Okay.
So they're there. So when the time comes now, they automatically will get it. But if you're out, you have to go in because you're outside of the system. So you have to be counted. So,
folks, we'd like to thank you so very much, Minister. We know you've got to run off, and we'd like to thank the stations for staying with us this morning. No, we didn't take any calls because the issues, we know how it go. We're going to bring Minister back in. Minister, I see a certain minister, I ain't going to call Skeeter name, but I see a certain minister who I would not call Honorable Kate Skeeter Lewis name, who say that she had to come in too. She see I bring you and she get jealous. So she message she had to come inside too. But I would not call her name. So
and I know you need culture minister because carnival is in the air.
Yes, indeed. So we need to have a come in studio sometime next week as well. We want to see how many other ministers we can get in next week. There are wonderful things happening with the Canadian Family Support Program and one or two other projects that are taking place. And we only just hear a bit of what's happening in St. David. So we had to give Minister a full 2 hours.
Yes, that's
we have to give him a full 2 hours, and I think we're going to do that, especially over the carnival season when you have a lot of people that are here.
That's right.
So we're going to do that during that time. So Minister, we expect to see you soon again.
Don't leave out my friend Kate Lewis.
No. We have to bring Honorable Kate Skeeter Lewis in studio with us.
I'm very proud of her, to give up a job and go in politics. That big risk,
It's not an easy thing, Not an easy thing, Leave
and young person.
Kate, you had no pension to get. You didn't make it 20. You didn't make it 26.
I think she make 17, so she had no pension to get.
You had no pension to get. Unless you go back and teach after. And we have no after day because we know you're going to be the MP for a very long time.
Well, that is how she will qualify as an MP.
As an MP.
Is she there for a long time? Yeah. And I hope she will be there for a long time. And she's a very nice person.
With the work she's doing already up in St. Andrew Northeast, believe me, she's going to be there for a very, very long time.
We both want to wish her the best.
Yes,
in,
indeed.
her, in that field.
All right. Thank you so very much, Minister. Folks, we're out of here. Another week of Hard Talk here. The only day you hear my voice was actually today. Well, another week of Hard Talk. And indeed, we'll be back on Monday, God's willing, with you with more Hard Talk. We are out of here. And whatever you say and do it safe and secure. I want to be speaking to and with you and not about you.
Your future.
As Grenadians